Is this the perfect 5 Series? You're goddamn right it is. Let me show you why. My name's Tom, and you're watching Paragon Cars. Let's go. Now, as many of you know, these cars are for sale, so if you'd like to check out this car or any others that we have for sale, follow the links in the description below. Now, why is this the perfect 5 Series? Well, it's a couple of things really, but the main one is the engine. This is the inline-6 B57 engine. No, not B58, B57. And that's mainly because it's a diesel. Yes, I know in the past I've said the 540i is how to have the 5 Series, but hear me out on this. This diesel is frankly nuts. 1, it's so smooth you can literally rest a £1 coin on it whilst it's running. 2, not only does it have 286 horsepower, it has 650 Nm of torque, and an 11 horsepower electric motor to add yet even more torque. 3, it's equipped with Xdrive, so rain just don't matter. And 4, well, just watch. That's 4.79 seconds. Yes, this near 1.9 tonne car just beat a Mark III Ford Focus RS, a petrol-powered 354 horsepower Porsche Macan S, and was only 0.3 of a second off of a Mercedes A35 AMG. That's proper performance from what is fundamentally a middle-of-the-range car. Just nuts. It's even more nuts when you remember this is a luxury saloon. Comfort seats, large displays, and just, well, a lot of room. The rear seats are fantastic for adults, as you can see, and there's plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom, and an armrest with cup holders that stay out the way when not in use. Just perfect. Unfortunately, that's where the good ends though. Well, sort of. The 5 Series doesn't come with fold-down seats as standard, so if you plan on putting any long items in, then you need to make sure you tick that option, as without it, the best you're getting in there is a couple of suitcases. We're not here for fold-down seats though, are we? Let's get on the road so I can show you how much of a beast this thing really is. So, we know it's fast, but how does it actually handle? It's a big BMW barge at the end of the day. So, to shake things up a bit, I'm going to start with driving on a B road. It's definitely not because I just really want to see how this thing drives. But anyway, let's get to a little B road now and see how this thing drives. Okay then, into sports, let's get the traction off and see how this thing handles. I love it how it comes up with the LCI 530D as well. Oh my god. Oh, that's quick. Well, we know it'll hit 60 before the corner. Let's go. Whoa, that is insane. But yeah, suspension good, comfortable. Not as sporty as I was expecting actually. Being an M Sport car, usually they're kind of on the sportier side of things, but this 5 Series is definitely more comfort orientated, but it still controls its body weight fairly well, I must say. The only letdown, already I can tell the steering is just a bit pants, if I'm honest. You notice it especially in the Xdrive equipped 5 Series, including the M5 actually. It just has a very inert feel to it, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, it's like not the best steering in the world basically. But you quickly forget about that when you put your foot down in this thing. This is just the 30D, remember? And it is just, it's so rapid. Unbelievably rapid. Really have to watch your speed in this thing. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? Actually, the suspension is very well calibrated for a UK road because it absorbs all those really nasty potholes surprisingly well. I just can't believe how rapid this thing is. I like as well that it kind of tells you when you're using the electric power as well. So if you put your foot down, wait for this guy to get out of the way, you can see that the dash goes blue to tell you that you're using electric power. Okay then, can we hit 60 before the corner? Obviously we can. Yep, there you go. Oh, that is so brutally fast. I cannot believe how quick this thing is. And for just an M Sport car, it handles really well, you know. They've done an absolutely cracking job on this thing. You can place it where you want it. It's just... BMW are just on fire at the minute. They absolutely are. I'm actually surprisingly excited to see what kind of economy this is going to give me as well. Just because, I mean, you've got huge power, clearly. It handles well, so it's a fun car to drive, even with Xdrive. And if it can actually return its BMW quoted figure of 57 mpg on the combined cycle, then, whoa, that makes it a pretty good all-rounder, I must say. You'll just have to get the optional fold-down seats for the rear. But it's just mega. I mean, you've got traction when you want it, and you can still flick it around a corner when you don't want traction. Oh, gosh, it's good. So, yeah, down a tight British B road, fantastic car, really genuinely fantastic. What's it like on some wider, more open roads though? Let's go to one now and find out. Okay then, obviously still in Sports Plus, traction is off. Let's see what kind of shapes we can cut with this thing. Just that torque, man, it's just ridiculous. So even if you come off the throttle, it doesn't understeer. It's very easy to control though, I must say. Oh, look at that. That is just mega. Absolutely mega. Bit of traffic today, so have to be careful. God, this car goads you on though, it really does. It's just that 2,000 to 4,000 RPM, this thing feels like an absolute weapon. Such good engine response as well. I mean, so far you're getting a lot of benefits, right? If it can actually do that economy figure, then this really is perfect. I mean, genuinely perfect. It's strange though, like the steering does feel odd, but as you get faster it kind of... It's like predictable, but doesn't have a lot of feel. It's quite hard to describe. It's not terrible, is what I'm trying to say. Well, it is terrible, really, but I'm waffling. Let's just get driving. Oh, just wicked, this thing. Absolutely wicked. And you can drive it on the throttle. That's what I was complaining about in the 520D touring video that I did a couple of weeks ago. By the way, if you want to go and see that, I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner. But I'm guessing you're going to want to stay and keep watching this because it is a beast. Right, slam on the brakes. Yeah, typical BMW. Not very confidence inspiring, but they work very well, so can't complain too much. And then obviously coming around corners, it's a BMW as well, so plenty of front end grip, and you can really power out of corners with Xdrive. You really do not need more power than this. It's just silly how fast you can go around corners in a regular BMW these days. Just nuts. Yeah, suspension on faster stuff really controls the body well. You don't get too much lean. Do get a little more than something like an M Sport BMW 3 Series, but that is to be expected. It just feels a bit more grown up. Although you can still drive it like an absolute wally, like I'm doing. I don't understand how they just make a car that can handle this good every single time. I can't imagine what the M550D is like. If this is this fast, mean, the response from the engine is just stellar. I haven't even spoken about the gearbox yet. Yeah, it's great. It's a ZF8 speed, shifts gears very quick for a torque converter gearbox, and it blends the gears together when you're in comfort. I mean, it's pretty much as good as gearboxes get these days. And look at the downshifts. Just pull a paddle. It does what you ask of it. That is proper acceleration. You feel it in your gut. Oh. It's just mega, that, isn't it? Absolutely mega. The car wraps around you. It just feels so intuitive to drive. It's just the steering. I just wish it had slightly better steering. Because if it did, do you know what? I would probably end up buying one, even though it's a diesel. That's just insane. Right then, I think it's time to get onto the motorway, don't you think? Let's go into Eco. I know this thing's got an Eco mode. And reset our MPG and see if we can hit 57 miles per gallon. Well, okay, it's going to be one of those days then. 40 mile an hour limit already. Fantastic. Thank you, M25. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, BMW, what the hell? We just hit 70 mpg in this thing, and we were stuck in traffic for most of that journey. What? That's absolutely nuts. I mean, to be fair to BMW, they do say it'll do 67 miles per gallon on the extra urban cycle, but I never usually quote that figure because cars are just so far off it in the real world that there's no point. This has not only hit that figure, it has beaten it in traffic. What? I'm genuinely gobsmacked. 70 miles per gallon out of a car that's this fast, this heavy, this capable, and it's a 3-litre engine. Just BMW, I take my hat off to you. That is just insane. That means to a tank of fuel in this thing, you could probably get nearly 1,000 miles. That's insane. That's genuinely insane. I think the only car that's beaten that is actually another BMW 320d with the mild hybrid system. So just goes to show this platform really, really works, and works well. I can't believe it's just done 70 mpg. I think realistically, on a long run, you're probably going to get, well, at least 60 miles per gallon, I'll be honest. I think even sitting above 70, you're going to do over 50 miles per gallon in this thing. That is just nuts. But what's it actually like on the motorway? Let's get back onto another section of motorway and go through it. Okay, then coming onto the motorway, just tickle the throttle. And do you know what? BMW usually calibrate their cars so they're a bit dead in eco mode in terms of throttle response. This seems to be alright for some reason. I'm guessing because it's got that mild hybrid system, it can kind of just torque fill any kind of gaps that there are. But yeah, you literally just touch the throttle and you hit 70 pretty quickly. In terms of throttle response, if I slow down, the Golf's just given me a gap. Let's give it half throttle, change down a couple of gears. I mean, that's proper acceleration, isn't it? That is nuts. And yeah, get your cruise control on 70 miles an hour and just chill out. And then road noise and wind noise are very low. Just ignore the surface that we're driving on right now. For some reason, it's literally like the worst surface but it just goes to show that this car has very good sound deadening and is genuinely very quiet. Seats, absolutely mega. These are the full, I think they're 18 or 21 way adjustable seats where you can adjust the pitch of the base. You've got a little thigh support that extends out. You can adjust the pitch of the upper backrest as well, which is an absolutely mega thing, especially if you've got a bit of an arched back like me. It just means you get proper head support from the headrest, which is nice. Visibility is genuinely quite good actually. You got nice low slung windows, so you can kind of see in your blind spot very easily. And seating position, it's a BMW, it's fantastic. Very little to complain about. And yeah, absolutely worth upgrading to these seats actually. If you've got loads of money, you can even go for the seats that are out of the BMW M5, which is very nice. And yeah, it's a car you could do a lot of miles in. I hate the cliche saying it's a nice place to be, but it really is. It really is that good. I'm really, yeah, can't complain about it at all. Absolutely fantastic car. Right, before I fall in love with this thing too much, let's finish up round town and do a conclusion, I think. Finishing up round town then, obviously it's a very nice car to drive in a little town like London. But there is a bit of a downside to this car, and that's the fact it's just physically a bit large. So parking this thing can be a little bit of a nightmare, unfortunately. So we've got a nice fairly small space here because people can't park properly. This car has got a reverse camera with park assist, which, you know, never really used. But yeah, reverse camera is good. It's got all-round parking sensors, which are also fairly nice. So once you're kind of used to the size of it, getting into a space is fairly easy. Getting in one go though can be a bit tricky, as I've just demonstrated. But yeah, good reverse camera, good refresh rate, lines telling you where you're going to go, parking sensors are very accurate, and once you're in a space, can you get to the first notch? Yes, you can. That's not always the case though with this thing, because it is just a little bit wider than some other smaller saloons. But one thing it does have that is quite cool is reverse assistant. So it will remember up to 50 yards of driving. So you can see a little yard counter going up. So if I park in this space over here and then whack it in park and then act like I've parked, go out the car, get back in, I can now just plonk this thing in reverse and just go. And it will do everything for me. Need to kind of keep my hands on the wheel just to kind of demonstrate it. But there you go. It will remember literally up to 50 yards of driving, so I can just keep going if I want to. In fact, let's just keep going. Still steering for me. Using the reverse camera to see behind me. Little bit of turnage of the wheel. And there you go. Ooh, is it gonna... It's gonna park me in this space again. I can't believe it's doing it. It's genuinely, it's taking me from one parking space to another. How impressive is that? That is absolutely mega. I mean, there's your reason to buy it right there. There you go. Proof is in the pudding. Reverse assistant works very well and is very accurate. I can't believe I just did that. That was quite cool. Like, genuinely quite cool. Anyway, let's see what this thing's like coming out of junction. So, obviously, mild hybrid system, it will turn the engine off. There's no option to disable start-stop. However, because you've got that 48-volt architecture, it means when you give it half throttle, the engine is just ready to go straight away. And obviously, you've got Xdrive as well, so yeah. Not much drama, the car just absolutely flies down the road. It is nuts how fast this thing is. And it's weird, although I hate start-stop, because this kind of just works, it is very nice. So even like here, once the light goes green, I'll be able to demonstrate it. It's basically like the engine is already on, but just sitting at 0 RPM. So it's like the engine idles at 0. It is quite cool. And hopefully the light will go green, because I'm now just waffling. Please light go green. It's not going to go green, is it? I'm going to have to make a cut. There we go. And there you go. So it's basically like the engine's already on, but just sitting at 0 revs. It is very, very cool. And obviously it helps the economy. Now, even after ragging this car around, we're still sitting at over 40 miles per gallon, which is just... It blows your mind. Absolutely blows your mind. And then going over speed bumps. Yep, that slightly more comfort orientated suspension really does wonders for this car. Going over bumps like this, you just barely feel it. It is really, really impressive. Just don't really get any jolts into the cabin. I forgot to mention on the motorway, actually, the suspension's very good. It does settle down really nicely, and you don't get any like jolts into the cabin. It has to be a really big pothole for you to actually notice any kind of upset in the car. But yeah, even going over speed bumps like this one's a particularly aggressive one, and yeah, nothing. Genuinely quite impressive, isn't it? Okay, in conclusion then, should you get this over something like the BMW 520d, or just is this the perfect engine for this car? Yes, absolutely. This is literally perfect. I mean, the only thing I can complain about again is the steering, but that's it. That is literally it, and I'm splitting hairs with it there as well. This engine is just phenomenal. I mean, this drivetrain has got to be one of the best that is out there at the minute. You get insane fuel economy, you get performance that is genuinely eye-watering and gut-wrenching for most of your passengers, and you get a chassis that is dynamic and fun to drive. And also, all the technology is there, but it's not a faff to use. You don't have to go through a touchscreen. Oh, I'm gonna miss these days where cars are like this. It is absolutely perfect. Anyway, I think we'll wrap the video up there before I end up actually buying this thing. So yeah, if you enjoyed this content, please give it a like, and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale, which includes this absolutely stunning BMW 530d. Again, I'll put a link down in the description for the car, also the website as well, so if you want to have a look at all of our stock or just this particular car, go into the description down below. But anyway, my name's Tom, and you've been watching Paragon Cars. I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers.